Hey everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing another video from Grab the Lantern today, and I know it seems like just yesterday Bel'Veth came out, but we already have our teaser for our next champion, Nilah, the Joy Unbound. Even more than that, we have her initial teaser trailer, so I wanted to make my video today talking about Nilah, talking about what we can see in her kit, and what sort of information we might be able to glean from this. Now, Nilah seems to be very interesting. She is supposed to be our unconventional bot laner that was promised to be at the start of this year, and then obviously, we're not a Glaskin Zeri, we're delayed to this year, which is why she is coming out now. I also think this is why she's coming out so soon on the heels of Bel'Veth, because Riot were trying to basically accelerate things and try to get back to where they were supposed to be at the beginning of this year, but either way, she will be coming out. She is supposed to be an untraditional bot laner, and I think she has a lot of tools in-game, if I'm reading things right, to make this work. First, she does have this targeted dash to champions. I would assume it is targeted at least. It looks like every time she casts it, she jumps directly to a unit, which allows her to do damage on contact, but she also is able to use this on an ally, which we'll see here in a little bit. Nilah does appear to have this skill shot W, which you might have seen there. I will be replaying this though, guys, so don't worry too much about trying to play it back. But she has this skill shot attack that does damage in an AoE, and then afterwards it looks like her auto attacks are getting AoE on them, where she's whipping her whip back and forth in order to do damage to enemies each time she auto attacks, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to run this back here a little bit though, because I want to show off another ability that Nilah has. I'm assuming is not her ultimate, which is very similar. A lot of people are drawing comparisons to Gwen, but that's her sort of immunity ability. Now, we can see here, of course, the gold card comes out, she presses the button, and nothing happens. But the important part afterwards is she does take damage from the Q here, and then this follow-up auto attack also does no damage. What this means to me is it looks very similar to a Jax Counter-Strike, where Nilah is basically throwing this out, doing in order to just completely avoid auto attack damage and crowd control effects at all, but it doesn't make her immune to everything. As you can see here as well, which I'll run it back for you guys here for just a second, she also appears to be able to donate this ability to an ally. So when she dashes to her Rakan, she grants Rakan the bonus as well, and then she's able to basically go in and clean things up here with what looks like her ultimate. I have been wrong before when I've tried to say that it's definitely an ultimate with I believe it was Gwen, who I really thought her W was her ultimate, but it looks very similar to an Orianna ultimate that happens directly on top of you. I know casters call it the sombrero, but basically the ball is on Orianna and she presses R, so the AoE happens immediately around her. It does look like Nilah is able to continue moving while it's casting though, so she's able to get this pull in, get all the champions nearby, and she also gains these hands floating around her after casting this. Now this, I believe, is probably a necessity. I would guess it's some sort of durability increase, because Nilah, I'm assuming, is going to be a very squishy champion. She has to be directly in the middle of the enemy team to get a lot of value off of that ability, so it does seem to me like you would need some kind of durability upgrade in order to make that kind of a playstyle actually relevant. So the kit already, I think, has a lot of advantages here to let Nilah sort of work in the bot lane. I think she has the advantage of being able to nullify auto attacks, but also donate it to her friend. She has ways of closing the gap on enemy champions, and she has AoE auto attacks, allowing her to somewhat make up for her lack of DPS, because I'm assuming this champion is not going to be building critical strike and the like. Now, I wanted to touch really quickly here as well on Nilah's lore. Now, Nilah talks a couple of times in this video about demons, not only calling them by name, but this entire initial intro, which I will have the video linked down in the description, you guys, but this entire intro monologue basically just describes Runeterran demons, sort of these extraterrestrial beings that prey specifically on negative human emotions. Now, she also, there's implications that she has a demon with her, I would guess actually in this little sphere she has on her hip there, and that she's talking to that demon, but I would also argue that that is not where she's getting her powers from. I know a lot of people were making the assumption that she's somehow demonic empowered, but she mentions a Lord of the Waves, which is assuming where she gets her ability to run on water from, and where she gets a lot of her abilities in game, and where she's able to use this sort of bladed whip here. I think it's called a Surl, but I may be wrong on that. But so either way, so this Lord of the Waves is probably how she actually gets her powers, and she basically has trapped the demon at some point and never lets it out, but more or less she just holds onto it for safekeeping at some point. Interesting though that she does have the hands containing the water sphere, so maybe the Lord of the Waves is the demon that she has, that she basically trapped, and now she's using its power similarly to Swain. I wouldn't guess that's the case, just due to, again, that's Swain's shtick already. but we'll have to see when we get some more information. Riot also did confirm that Nilah is from the eastern continent where Camavor, and therefore by extension Viego, are originally from, so she's not from any region that we currently know, guys. This is not an Ionian champion, as I was initially sort of hypothesizing. She's also 100% not an Oyster fighter. I really thought I was onto something with that, guys, and I was totally wrong in that video, so... Either way, though, she looks interesting. She looks like she has some abilities that are going to be fun to play with, and I'm interested to see how Riot intend to bind her to the bot lane specifically and not like a solo lane, because I really feel like this character could see play in the mid lane potentially if everything is sort of lining up the way I'm expecting it to, could see play in the top lane. I don't know why specifically they're going to make her into a bot lane character, especially given that she doesn't have that much range. So we'll see where this ends up going. Obviously, I would expect the full tooltips and everything to be out before too long, but I wanted to get this video up today, guys, and talk a little bit about where I think this character is headed. Anyways, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video today, go ahead and leave it a like. And if you really enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I upload a video every Monday, Friday, and on patch days as well. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I'll talk to you all later.